And the message from the first day I saw you, I saw love. From the first day I met you, I met loving. The feeling was strong, and the love too was long. C'est ton amour que moi je veux bébé, je t'en prie. Je t'aime tellement, je t'adore bébé. Come to me, Kenyon, I love you so much, boy. And the message, and the message, and the message, and the message. You go be my woman for life. You could be my sweetheart for life, eh? Oh yeah. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I will go with you. I will stand by you. I will prove to you how I love you, sweetie. You're my darling, honey, my sweetest woman, eh? I, Crystal Best, c'est toi que je veux. Crystal Best, c'est toi que je t'aime. Crystal Belly, Crystal Belly, Crystal Belly, Crystal Belly. Shine your light on this heart of mine till the end of time. Manuel Fomonyon, Fortune Berignon. Yeah. Oh, I love you, babe. I miss you, babe. I love you, babe.
Where are we?
You, babe.
Let's get to know if you are there.
You are kiss. You are hot.
Let's get to know if you are there. That's what I'm saying here.
You are good.
Okay.
I pray.
All right. I'm waiting for
massage.
The first one or two people. Then we go.
Advice, ideas. I dancing and the best. Say more. Hey, Maja, Manu, Buri. Hey, Ashe, Bongen, yeah.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for taking this particular rendezvous. Thank you very much for taking this unannounced rendezvous where we're coming to make sure we ride on. It's been long, it's been a while, we've not been together for some time, but we are coming back because we're running out of the year, and so we need to clear certain things as far as the year is concerned. So ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by wishing you end of year greetings, and of course wishes for the new year as far as the 2021 and upcoming 2022 is concerned. I want to thank you very much, and I must say we must all be grateful to the Almighty God for making it possible for us to be part of this end of year and gloriously moving to the next year. That said and done, ladies and gentlemen, today's live show, we shall be focusing on the marriage culture. That is what we're going to be talking about. You know, our live shows, what we do is we go in for studies, and when we come back, we try as much as we can to practicalize the studies which we went in. When we validate the courses, we go for practicals. Yeah. So we choose part of being live as our own practicals. That's just what we're going to be doing. So those of you joining us for the very first time, my name is Anderson Ako. Of course, many people know me as Andy Best. Yeah, others have other appellations and accolades attached, but I prefer to go by those two for now. So like I said, we are going to be talking about the marriage culture. The marriage culture. That is our theme for this particular live show. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get there, we must say, just stay tuned, get your pens and your papers, your jotters, because you might need one or two things to pick from here. And when you pick them, you keep them, because you have to use them and use them well, especially those of you who are getting married, those of you who are preparing to get into matrimony. That's exactly what we're doing here. So, said and done, ladies and gentlemen, when I say we're talking about marriage culture today, we are talking about marriage culture. Yeah, most of you, we have been talking about marriage in most of our live shows, nearly all of our live shows, because our focus is marital counseling. So to say, we have been talking about marriage in most of our live shows. This particular live show, we shall be talking about the marriage culture. Yeah, and we have some key concepts there that we have to take into consideration before we talk about that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about marriage and culture. Those are the two main concepts that we're going to be dwelling on this particular live show. Yeah, I gave you a definition of marriage that I go by in one of our shows, but for the benefit of those who are just joining us for the very first time, I'm going to be giving you another definition, or the same definition for marriage, which I've always been giving, because that is what I deem it necessary as the most accepted definition of marriage. So I said it, that marriage is a culturally, legally recognized union between spouses. It establishes rights and obligations. When I say rights and obligations, yeah. So to say, some people have rights, others have obligations, and vice versa. That is it. And between the spouses and their children, and of course their immediate family, siblings, in-laws, and all those things. So that is my definition for marriage. Then we talk about culture. What is culture? Culture simply refers to the ideas, tradition, social behavior of a particular people in a society. Yeah, let's leave it at that level. So that is just it. That is it. We thank those of you who are watching already, and we say those of you coming in, just join us because we are already moving ahead. Our topic for today is the marriage culture, like I said. So we just gave you the definition of marriage and the definition of culture from there. Now, when I say we are talking about marriage culture today, many people will be asking a question. Does marriage really have a culture? How related are those two things? Say, so a legal union, then you are coming and talking about culture. Yeah, and that is exactly what I want to explain now. First and foremost, if you are married as a married person, know that you are no longer the you that you used to be, as I can put it. You are already getting into another dimension, into another sphere of your life. That is it. If you are married, you get into another sphere of your life, another dimension, another definition of you, another characteristic of a human being. That is you. You get into another cocoon, as I can put it. So to say, it is no longer the you, the Chantal Rolands that used to be simple Chantal Rolands. It is no longer the Loretta that used to be the simple Loretta. Or it's no longer the Mbella Diop that used to be the normal Mbella Diop. No, it's no longer the Anderson that used to just be Anderson. It's now Mr. Anderson. That is why they add that particular accolade to anybody who gets married. Okay? Yeah, that is it. So the first thing you need to do as far as the culture of that particular status is concerned is what? Accept that new status as a married person and work with the do's and the don'ts of marriage. That is it. Because some of you are married, but you don't want to accept that you are married. You went to court, you just did the papers, you went to church, you did the blessing, and then you did maybe the reception and the traditional wedding and all those things. It ends there. You as a human being, you have not accepted that fact that you are married. And that is where a lot of trouble comes in. That is where a lot of trouble comes in as far as matrimony is concerned. So ladies and gentlemen, I am dwelling on this because it is also common in our societies today. And that's why at times we need to really make these amends, make these shows to educate the people, see, in order that they should not be derailed by what they are meeting in their lives this day. So to say, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the first thing to do in the marriage culture is you need to accept your new status as a married person. Then, what do? You work with the do's and don'ts of the marriage of a married person. That is it. What am I talking about? When I say the do's and don'ts, it means those things that you are supposed to do them as a married person and things that you are not supposed to do them. Now, when you looked at my definition of culture, yeah, it means the ideas, tradition, and social behavior of a particular people or a society. Now you are a particular person. And who are you? A married person. Yeah, a married person. And so to say, you have to have your ideas and live according to a certain tradition and a particular social behavior of married people. I hope that I'm talking something there. Okay? Yeah. One, let's get to the first aspect of it. Association. When I talk about association, it means those you associate with, your associates, right? Yeah. What am I talking about when I talk about associates? Basically, let's say your friends. Your friends. Choosing your friends as somebody who is married entails a lot. Entails a lot because a good friend will assist you to get into your marriage, to succeed into your matrimony. But a bad friend, I am afraid, may derail you. And of course, those are the things that we really need to understand. So you need to watch your associates as much as possible. You need to watch your associates as much as possible. That is what I really want you to understand. What am I talking about? Your class has changed. You were married, you were single, but now you are married. And of course, you are not more of that former class of being a single. That is it. Your status, of course, changed. Your demands, of course, they changed. Your interest, they also changed. And of course, when I talk about all those titles, you may not understand. When I talk about your class, it means you are not supposed to be mingling with people who are not of the marital status as you. That is one. Two, I talked about status demands. Yeah, your marriage normally demands a lot of from you, a lot, such as what? Being answerable to your husband or your wife, being caring to your husband or your wife or your children, or your, yeah, and then being respectful rather to your maybe your mom, your in-laws, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, brother-in-law, and all those type of people. All those people, the family, because that is the culture that you got into. Remember, our topic is marriage culture. Okay, you got into another topic, into another culture this time around as a married person. And so you need to respect the rules and regulation of that particular culture, which is matrimony. So when your demands, they are supposed to be tilted towards that particular dimension. Okay, just like your interest. Yeah. Today, there is this thing that I want to talk about today, which is, it's everywhere. It's on social media. We have a lot of counselors today, but the more we have counselors, especially marital counselors, who they call themselves motivational speakers, the more we have them, the more wayward our ladies out there are doing. Okay? The more wayward our ladies out there. Simply because they are not focused on the matrimony that they have. They actually took their heads and placed them or gave them to those motivational speakers. Remember, a lot of sentimental behavior derail people. For example, if they say there is this public speaker, Andy Best, everybody loves Anderson. Everybody loves Anderson. Everybody loves Anderson. Now, what happens? Anderson gets to the public. He gives some dirty news or say dirty education. Out of sentiment, you are bound to respect that particular belief that Anderson is giving. Simply because you love Anderson so much. And that is what derails a lot of people in their homes today, which we need to work out a lot of strategies to work. That's to say, if your head is not being used by you, other people will use it against you. Okay? Yeah, that is it. So, yeah, there is a comment coming in. Jesila says they are not even counselors or motivational speakers. They are working their money. Yeah, they need their views and all those things. Yeah, normally we know that. So to say, like I was saying, on social media, if you love a person, you follow that person. Even if he or she says B is A, you shall accept. You shall accept. Simply because you love that person. So keep away your sentiments. Use your intellect. That is why it is always very necessary to undergo some premarital counseling before you get into matrimony. Because if you don't do that, they will derail you in your matrimony. That is it. So you need to watch your associates. Watch your class. Watch your status. Watch your demands. Watch your interest. And watch all those things. Those are one of the do's and don'ts. Then, the second one we're going to be talking about is your goals. What are your goals when it comes to the marriage culture that you are inside? What type of goals are you supposed to be having? Your primary goal in your house as somebody who is married, okay? As somebody who is married, is supposed to be to bring up your household, make it good, guarantee continuity for your kids. Yeah, that is supposed to be your primary goal. To bring up a family in a way that everybody will be fine. Your husband, your wife. When I talk about your husband, your wife, your children, when I say your husband, I'm referring to a wife. A wife that's a wife's responsibility. When I talk about your wife, it's a husband's responsibility. Because I'm not talking to a wife or a husband. I'm talking to both parties. So we need to understand. Yeah. So your husband needs to be happy because of you. Your kids need to be happy because of you in that family. That should be a primary goal. Together with maybe those around you, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, and brother-in-laws and sister-in-law. Those are the things that we need to work on as far as our goals are concerned. You should not go into matrimony and cause disaster, put asunder what was already together. No, it is not supposed to be like that. Marriage culture educates us that we should build. We should always build. We should build. That is, we should build. We should not destroy. Okay? Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about here. Now, pleasures. Let's talk about pleasures as the very third aspect of this. How should you go about your pleasures as somebody who is married? We know previously, before you got married, you could do hangouts. You could stay the whole night, maybe on a live call or a video call with your boyfriend or whatsoever. You could go to nightclubs and come back 3 or 4 days after. You don't care or whatsoever. Those are some of the things that we need to be conscious of. But now you are into matrimony. You are into another culture. Okay? another culture. That's the marriage culture that we are talking about. The system has changed. How do you go about those pleasures? Watch out and guard against any pleasure that does what? That does what? That is what we need to know. That drains you. That is it. From the qualities of being a good wife or a good husband. That is just it. You should watch out and guard against those type of pleasures. So to say, we should be very careful. Especially even the people around you. The people around you. There are some people who get into your matrimony and start telling you that as a husband, marriage is not imprisonment. Wives, this marriage is not imprisonment. This, that. All those type of people, they are coming with a lot of negative energies. That is it. That's why I say you need to be first and foremost very careful with the type of friends you keep. You need to be very careful. So, that is it. Then, household. Yeah, when we talk about household, is another aspect that we need to be talking about. You need to be the owner of your household. Okay? When I talk about be the owner of your household, what am I talking about? You should master your husband or your wife or whosoever you got married to. That is the first aspect. You should know how your household operates. And again, you should be very, very versed with all the circumstances surrounding your particular household. Okay? Those are some of the things that we need to know. Now, when I talk about household, you should master it. When I say master it, most of the people who get into matrimony today don't master their households. That is it. It's sad. It's a very sad thing to know that most of the people who get into matrimony, they don't master their household. What am I talking about? When I go back to look at what our parents used to do in those days, your husband is sleeping. Just as before he gets out of bed, there is already breakfast served on the table for him to eat. Yes, somebody will say it's normal, they do it today. What am I saying here? What do I want to point out here? But today, what the ladies will do is, Daddy, you go chop waiting. Daddy, you go chop waiting. Waiting, you go chop. That is something that people need to know. When you ask that question as a wife, you don't even master anything. Because if you run that house from January to December, you should know that yesterday, Daddy ate fried plantain and egg. Today, let me do him spaghetti. Automatically, you do spaghetti, Daddy will not refuse. That is it. Daddy will not refuse. But see them. They will go out and they will get up and maybe start watching Z World or whatsoever. When Daddy will get up and says, my breakfast not ready, you start saying that I was waiting for you to get up so that I asked you what you eat before I prepare it. I don't want to prepare something that you will not eat. That is an eloquent testimony of somebody who does not master the household. That is it. If you master your household, some of those questions you don't even ask them. Because some people, when they ask those questions like that, it gets to a situation where your husband even gets angry. That this is, what type of a wife is this who cannot even use her intellect to do something? Yeah, and you should plan your meals according to the season. That is how it works. That is how it works. So if you are not doing some of those things, it exposes a lot of your weaknesses and your husband start doubting. That is it. Remember, let me say this. Remember, your house is supposed to be the best. When I say the best restaurant, the best resting place, the best hotel, the best church, the best bar, the best everything for your husband and for your wife and for your children. Most of you don't know that. Regrettably today, There are husbands and wives that maybe the wife is working somewhere. The moment she is coming back to her house, she is going to hell. Just like the husband. The husband will leave from work. Instead of coming back to the house, she is hanging out somewhere for some 3 or 4 hours to pass before he finally gets there and just eat, take a shower and then sleep. It is not supposed to be like that. If in those households where both parties master their household, they master their household, the wife or the husband will always like to rush home. They will always like to rush home. That is it. As simple as that. So to say, ladies and gentlemen, when I talk about household, we need to be the owner. We need to master it. And we need to control it. When I say control it, it doesn't mean that you should go pesting people up and down. You are supposed to be home at 10 o'clock. No, you need to be flexible and understand the nitty-gritties of life. No human endeavor is focused and is static in such a way that if I'm coming back from my duty today at 8 o'clock, tomorrow there might be traffic or whatsoever, and I may come in at 8:15 or 8:10 or so. You need to understand. You need to be flexible. Yeah, just like a wife who runs a saloon. You might program yourself that you close at 6 p.m., but at 5:30 somebody gets in and say, I have an urgent occasion tomorrow. He just came, please do my hair. And doing it now, you notice that you get across your 6 p.m. limit. You are closing at 6:30. Your husband has to understand all those things. So that's why I say you should master those things. You should control it. Sadly today, in those houses, in most of the houses, that control is not even there. Some other matrimonies or marriages, they have brought in house helps or artificial machinery to control matrimony, which is very sad. Which is sad. I don't want to go talking about the number of cases in which the husband has been sleeping with a mate or whatsoever. Just like wives have been sleeping with maybe drivers or cooks or whatsoever. It is a sad situation. That is it. And that is just because some of us, we refuse to take our responsibilities. And there is something in life that many people don't know. As a wife, if somebody continuously serves food to your husband, and if the food is delicious, husbands, they love nice things. Just like wives. Wives love things too that are nice. Okay? And if somebody continuously do those nice things to the woman, automatically the woman start thinking about that. Just like the man. So we should control and limit those things, direct them to ourselves. That is it. If we direct them and limit them to ourselves, we succeed. We succeed. That is it. But most of us, we already let those things loose. We give it out to house helps in some houses today. If you go there and see the type of things that they do, as far as chores are concerned, you'll be ashamed. The wife gets out in the morning, does not even care to make up her bed. Pass and go and make up that bed. Clean my room. Do this, do that, do this. Forgetting to know that some of the men got married to those women because of their industrious nature. That is it. You should also know why your husband got married to you. That is it. Many people don't know this. Your wife or your husband, you should know your strong point. And the moment you start deviating from your strong point, the love automatically starts falling. As simple as that. As simple as that. That's what many people don't know. If you don't know that my husband loves cleanliness, my husband loves good food, my husband loves that I should always be respectful, my husband loves the fact that I always give him good ideas, my wife loves the fact that I should come home with a flower for her every day, my wife loves the fact that I should always take her out. All those things, okay? If you don't know those things, you are nowhere to be found. That is it. You should master those things and know them to your fingertips. As simple as that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about marriage culture. Marriage culture because we have realized that many people, they don't follow those things. That is it. Many people don't follow those things. Regrettably. And it leads to a lot of things. You are actually selling your rights. Rights have been sold to house helps. I even got to, I listened to somebody the other day was talking about the fact that they say the husband was asking, what do we need to prepare for Christmas? You say, ask the house help, where is your role as a woman, as the owner of that house, the master, the boss of that particular house? Where is your role? You sold it to the house help. And house helps, I must tell you, they always emerge the best of wives. That is it. Some of these wives think that the mega 15,000 salary that they are paying them, they do all those things, is just those things. But they don't see the other part of it. And one, it destroys your children so much so that your children tend to be very lazy. Because some of these, our women, they think that because they pay you a mega 15,000, their child, especially their daughter, should not do anything into the house. And that is where they destroy their own children by themselves. Killing oneself by himself. That is it. And the consequences, you come, now you see somebody from a wealthy background, but there is even spaghetti to boil. You cannot boil. Nothing. You cannot cook anything. Because all work was being done by the house help. And at the end of it, what happens? What happens? So, ladies and gentlemen, we should really try to master some of these things. Like I said, we should master some of these things. We should master them. Yvonne, let me laugh. Okay. So to say, we're still talking about that. Now, as a wife, you need to know your husband, like I'm saying, and as a woman, you need to know your wife. Yeah, what he loves, I've told you about that. And so, now let's talk about lifestyle. You are in a new dimension, a new culture that you are living as a married person. How should your lifestyle look like? That is another very pertinent aspect that we need to dwell on. One, your lifestyle should reflect the marriage in which you are. It should automatically tell everybody that this woman is taken. Okay? This woman is taken. And when they say this woman is taken, it means she is off the market. Okay? It is not that type of lifestyle that she should be looked upon and misjudged by the fact that she is still in the market. What am I saying? Many people will be asking that question by now. Yeah. I am not in any way saying that married women should not dress well. Married women should not wear modern things. Excuse me. I am not in any way saying that. But what I'm saying is that you should know the limit. Okay? You should know the limit to what you are doing. Everything done in excess is a problem. Many of you know that. Okay? Many of you know that. It should reflect responsibility. Show that you are not over-available. That's another thing. Some of you are married, but you are just over-available. Everywhere Every small laugh for quarter, you did it. Every small birthday party, you are there. This, I don't even know those occasions to cite here. Every small gathering, you are part of it. Let me tell you something. When you make your household boring to you in particular, what happens? What happens? You start thinking that you need to get the tranquility that you need, but outside. That is it. Let us strive as much as we can to make our surroundings very, very acceptable. That is, they should be very, very nice in such a way that comfortable for us to dwell in. That is it. If we don't do that, it's a pity. We will always think that we shall be running outside. Yeah. A man who refuses to equip his house with chairs or a good television set will always want to go and watch football in a bar. As simple as that. Yeah. I have talked to so many men who are doing that. If you don't make sure that your house has a good sofa, that you sit on it, you lean, you feel comfortable, you even place your leg on a side stool, and you watch a giant screen, you will always run to a bar. If you need to be sipping some wine or beer or whatsoever, create your artificial bar in your living room. Pick one and put there. There is Fanta, top Coca-Cola for the kids. They are sitting there and watching their own whatsoever. You and madam, you are sitting there. A lot of good discussions always emerge during those type of encounters. But sadly today, the reverse is true. The reverse is true. Because when the husband is coming to the parlor, the woman is going outside. There is always conflict. Conflict because some of them say, my right is to watch television, your right is not to watch television and whatsoever. Now, as a married person, how do you people settle this difference? Synchronize your interest. That is it. You need to synchronize your interest. There are things that you do, not because you like doing them, but you do them for the sake of your matrimony, for the sake of the marriage in which you are. Yeah, that is it. I was forced to tell people to emulate or to follow some of the things that their wives do, and told their wives to also follow some of the things that their husbands are doing for the sake of peace. For example, if your husband loves football and you know that he's supporting Chelsea, go and study Barcelona. When Chelsea is playing with Barcelona, it is very interesting in the house. Mommy, they say your first son is supporting Chelsea. He is on daddy's side. Mommy is Barcelona. Your daughter is supporting Barcelona. Now, who win? Imagine how interesting that evening can be in your houses. The fun that you have in the house that day. Mommy can even say that if Barcelona wins, there's no dinner for everybody in this house today. Now everybody will go to support Chelsea, so that Chelsea should win, so that there should be dinner. That is it. Make these things interesting. Okay? It is a lifetime issue. You should not get into matrimony and go and start generating stress. That is it. Ladies and gentlemen, we should always understand those things. We should understand those things. What am I saying? We should know the lifestyles to live. It should reflect those things. Again, some of us, we are so loose. When I talk about loose, it means even though you are married, you don't even have respect for that matrimony. You sit with your wife, you are calling young girls and saying something foolish, stupid, and you don't even know what to say. You see, as a husband, you go to a social media, you are talking nonsense. And a woman will sit somewhere and read only your comment, and he'll be asking, what is wrong with this man? What is this? What is this? What is this? So those are some of the things that we need to watch out. You don't need to be loose. You don't need to be over available. That is what I'm saying. And the worst trend today is social media is causing a lot of harm than good. I always decry this on all of my shows because we are not taking what we are supposed to take from social media. We go for the ugly things, the cheap things. Go and see those people preaching stupid things on social media. Look at the views that they have. Look at it. But come and see somebody who is preaching sense. Look at his or her own views. You will know the rate at which evil dominates in this our present society. You should always live your life in such a way that everybody will know that you have respect for your matrimony. Okay? You have respect for the matrimony in which you find yourself inside. You, the wife or the husband. Yeah. Some of you are married, but you are in WhatsApp groups that belong to singles. Searching, single and searching. You are inside. What can you learn from there? What can you learn from there? What can you learn from there? That is it. Apart from learning the fact that you are too beautiful to suffer. A man should not come in and overrule me. A man should not do this. A man should not do this. No. A woman should not catch me down. I'm not in prison. When I get married to a woman, I'm not supposed to. No. You should know, have your choices, have your preferences, where to go, what to say, where to comment, where to like, where to share, what to share. All those things should be deep inside your brain. You should not just go on social media, anything that they say, you like it. Because your comment on social media determines who you are. That is it. Somebody can read your comment and know that this woman is a happy wife or is a wife that is not happy in her matrimony. That is it. Just from social media like or a social media share or a social media something. And the worst aspect of it is that there are some statements that are circulating everywhere on social media that people made them. And you just pick them and believe in them and you start using them. You don't know under what circumstance that person made that statement. But because it is there, you just pick it. It's from Facebook now. No be Facebook talk. Who is Facebook? Me and you. That is it. And in a situation where an uneducated, unscrupulous, stark, illiterate, whosoever picks something somewhere and drop it on Facebook, you pick it. Imagine the consequences. You might be even better. You learn from an illiterate. As a literate person, you share. Now, other literate people learn from you because they know that if Anderson is sharing this, it means that it's good. Imagine the damage that that illiterate person has caused. That is it. I have a platform that I report news items. The title of that platform is Andy Ako Newsroom. Many people have put it in such a way that people can post some of the things there, but I need to approve what goes there. Some of you are even here watching. You must have been sending things there. And you see that at the end of it, I delete them. I don't even validate it to get there because it needs my approval. When I say newsroom, I'm not saying that go and share Johnson Suleimani live show for my newsroom. That is not news to me. It is not news to me. That is it. So if you don't know how to manage social media, it's going to be very, very devastating, especially that. That is it. So I used to say it that your lifestyle has a lot to do. Yeah, just like Aita told me one time that if you don't see and make a best friend out of your spouse, you will never find his or her company exciting. That is just very true. Because we should always understand these things. We should always understand that your wife or your husband should always be your best friend. Your Congosa partner, every gossip that you want to gossip to your husband. That is it. And before you know it, you have a blend that, I mean, it's unbeatable. That is just it. Demands. Let's talk about your demands. Yeah, when I talk about demands here, many people will also think some people are running away from responsibility or whatsoever. But I also want to stress here that you should know what to say to your wife or your husband. No, you should know the time, what to demand, from who, which must only be your husband. Are we there? I'm saying you should also know the time. You should know the time to demand, know what to demand, and from who, which in most cases should first and foremost be your husband. Yeah. Why am I saying so? Why am I saying so? Excuse me. I'm saying so because most of the times you just get up as a husband because of maybe the nature of your desires. Your wife is coming back from the farm. You start asking for something, which I don't want to say. You know what I'm talking about. Okay? What you are demanding that time, you have a right to it. But the timing is improper. I hope men understand and women understand what I'm talking here. Yeah. What I'm saying is that we should know when to demand some of those things. Know the time and what to demand. Your husband should not be coming back from work tired, and then you are asking him money when you have not even served him food. Let me tell you something. This statement that they say that a hungry man is an angry man, you need to be very careful with it. But if you feed your husband both up and down, okay, whatsoever he asks that moment, the tone to respond to you at that moment will change. I'm telling you, try it out. That is it. Feed him well up and down. Okay? Then give your demand that time. Put your hand in his ear like that and do it. You will see the results and then you thank me later. My number is there. You send me some 10,000 francs airtime. That this strategy was the anti-best strategy. Okay? That is it. But ladies and gentlemen, we should know those things. Now, what to demand also matters. Okay? What to demand and the timing. Yeah, to throw more light on that, I said this some time ago. I don't know where I said it, but I said it somewhere. I'm sure, because I have been doing a lot of background counseling and stuff. Maybe I said it to an individual somewhere. So, I said it. Okay, you should not be in matrimony. You are demanding a car when you don't have a house to live inside. It is common today. It is common. Some of them say we are the big women. We are the big women. We are the big women. We need to chill big. We need to the big ladies of the town. We are there and we need to represent. We need to you know, man, yeah. So we say we are the big boys in town and so on and so on. All those things. You should know those things. Know that life has, because some of it is, if you see Mercy in her car today, you don't know how Mercy toiled before finally coming to have that particular car. Yeah, you don't know her story. You don't know what she has been through. You don't know how she suffered throughout her life before coming to own that car. But when you just get married today, you are a friend to Mercy, you start placing your life on the same barem like Mercy, which is very wrong. Which is very wrong. You should know the time of your marriage. That is where you need to study the culture. Know what to demand at that time. Yeah. Some of you people today, because everything is fashion, this one is coming out, you want to wear this one. That your thing that they put on the head is what again? Mesh, what human hair was what they call Brazilian hair. Some of those things, we are not saying that you should not put them on. You should not demand them. But when are you doing that matters. Okay? You should not be there having children who are uneducated. They don't even have school fees. You are demanding Brazilian hair. You should not be there. You don't even have a house to live inside. You are there demanding Brazilian hair or whatsoever. No, it does not work like that. Some of those things we should try as much as possible to master them. We should know that life has channels. You don't associate with people for the sake of associating. If you don't want to learn from people how to move chronologically, step by step, from one step. For example, there is nobody. I always tell people that those of you who are complaining today that life is hard, look at your classmates behind. You will know that you are privileged. That is just the only thing that I can say now. Because no matter what, some of us are just saying that nothing is moving. Try once in a while to accept that your level is not the same level in which you were in 2020. That is it. Accept. If you don't even accept, God will not guarantee. God will not even give you more. The best blessings are gotten through gratitude to God. That's what many people don't know. That's what many people don't know. If you don't acknowledge the fact that you are on a different level now, then how do you expect God to continue doing it? It is not like that. We should always learn to appreciate. Okay? You were living in a single room. Maybe you were renting sometime years back. You moved into 3 rooms, 1 parlor. Yet you are complaining. Life is not going. When do you finally want life to go? When? Ask yourself, look at your classmates. Some of them are not even having that 2 bedrooms to live inside. Some of you are living in flats, renting flats. Some of you own cars, yet you don't have a smile on your face. Life is not good. Life is not good. Life is not this. Life is this. Life is this. No. That is it. So please, we should learn to always appreciate. And like I was saying, you should know the time, know what to demand from who, which must always be your husband. Okay? Why am I saying that? it must always be your husband. That is the primary partner that you have. If your husband does not know your problem, it means, and then you are telling it to somebody else, you are not respecting the marriage culture. As simple as that. So to say, you should know that your husband needs to master those things. It should be a universal family decision that let's go to Uncle this and tell him if he can help us with school fee for these children now that we are down, especially in Cameroon now where crisis has derailed so many people, has put so many people down. Families can beg, but you should not beg because you want to expose the weakness of the bond of the bond that you have. Your husband should know of it. Yeah, that is it. That is it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say here is we should master some of these things. We should know this culture to our fingertips. We should know it. Because if we don't know it, it brings a lot of small misunderstandings. And that is where those marriages, they start having loopholes and eventually crash. That is it. One, because, for example, I am sitting with my wife inside and maybe the children, we don't have money for school fees. I am jobless. Yeah. My wife just goes out to maybe a friend and is saying that, I beg, please help me pay school fee for my kids. Now, what reputation are you giving your husband? Of how do you want that particular friend to look at your husband? A man is supposed to be respectful, respected all the time. And if you pull his reputation down, you as the wife, no other person, nobody will respect your husband. If you don't show respect for your husband. Sadly enough, today there are wives that if you hear what they talk about their husbands outside, that one is some man. If you hear what some of these men tell their colleagues in their office about their wives, you shout. That one a woman. That one a woman. But the irony about it is that you are sleeping on the same bed with her every day. She continuously gets pregnant and is bringing 4 children. Why all that sabotage? Why? Why all that sabotage? So, ladies and gentlemen, we should know how to handle some of these things. We should know. Because the moment you start going outside to ask for favors, you are exposing the inside. It's just like there's a problem inside the house. You are seeking for solutions outside. I believe in dialogue. I don't know if people believe in those things like I do. I believe that there is no problem that me and you, we cannot talk it out as husband and wife. Okay? That is it. The thing is, when do we talk about it? At times, there are problems that angers flare, tempers flare. Yes. Give yourself some time. And the worst thing to do is to take a decision when you are angry. Your anger should never cause you to decide. You will regret 10 times after. Okay? Learn a lot about anger management. You will succeed in life. That is it. There are some battles that just need silence. For example, if you come back home fuming after a misunderstanding with maybe your wife or your husband, you are shouting, your husband is just sitting quiet and looking at you like that. Do you know the message that the wife goes back to the room with? Is he ignoring me? Do I not mean anything to him? Am I sure that what I'm saying is true? Is he not just looking at me as a fool? Has he finally cut off me from himself? That is it. Just like at times when you are shouting to your wife is just sitting. You know that this woman is always talking back. But you talk and talk and talk. She's just looking at you like that. You start asking yourself, it means say, the woman don't remove me again. All those type of things. Learn those techniques and make your matrimony sweet. Okay? Those are the things that we need to know. That is a culture. It's ironical that some of us today will just jump in without any background knowledge on those things. It is not so good. It is not so good. So we should try as much as to learn those things. Yeah, we should try well to learn those things. And last but not the least, let's talk about the tongue, the power of the tongue in matrimony, in the marriage culture that we are talking about. Okay, we should talk about that. As a husband or as a wife, you should always know what to say to your wife or to your husband. You should know it. You should know what to say on social media. I have talked about that one already. You should know what to say to neighbors, to your in-laws, to your friends, and to your groups also, whatsoever. You should know. I have talked across around the whole topic. I've been crisscrossing on this particular aspect. Why? Why am I saying so? Because if you say trashy things to your wife, she gets hurt. If you say trashy things to your husband, he gets hurt. And that is it. Are you supposed to be in that woman's life to be hurting her? Or in that man's life to be hurting him? No. No. That is it. Your in-laws, like I gave you the definition for marriage, they have a role to play in your marital home, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. I listened to one of those weaver birds on social media talking about the fact that get married and tell your husband that you are getting married to your husband, not to mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law. I was even tempted to go and insult her, but I just said, must I even go to that extent? Must I go to that extent? So those are those type of people who derail young girls and young boys on social media. I will listen to somebody who says, I want to just get married to my wife. I don't even care about the brothers and the sisters. Or I just want to get married to my husband. I don't even care about the mother and the father and all those things. How possible? How possible? Did your husband fall from the sky? Or did your wife fall from the sky? It is sad. It is sad. In most cultures, there are responsibilities that go with matrimony. That is it. So we should try as much as possible to know some of those things. Some of us, the least thing that we have in the house, we take it outside to neighbors. That is it, which is so bad. Your husband is coming back, a quarrel, a misunderstanding that you had in bed in the morning. He is coming back. Just because he left in the morning, you left and went to the neighbor's place and started making kongosa. My master asked me something for night that deny me. He only for candy, he knock me any night. When I ask money for do my hair, no the girl. It's it's at times necessary to say it like that so that people should understand. Why should you take what transpired in your bedroom, matrimonial temple, to the neighbors? That is wrong mastery of matrimony, which is sad. It is sad. We should not do things like that. Manage it as the author, patron, boss, bostress of your matrimony. You should manage it. You should not just be that type of a person that if anything goes wrong, you are running outside. Anything goes wrong, you are running outside. No. No, no, no. It should not be like that. It should not be like that. We should try as much as possible to manage some of these things. It is very, very important. If we don't manage them well, we shall always live to suffer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure we are running out of time. We have dwelt on a series of things, and of course, I am sure the marriage culture has been exhausted. And just to add here that, you should watch out with the motivation, those so-called, I call them so-called motivational speakers that you follow today. There are people working their money. They need to say those things that you like to hear so that you subscribe and make the views and they make their money at the detriment of your matrimony. That is it. Take it or leave it. That is just it. Okay? That is it. You should be very careful. Because, one, they will tell you that your husband or your wife is pushing you into depression. I heard one talking about depression the other day. That your husbands are pushing people into depression, wives are pushing people into depression. But what happens? They forget to tell you that this thing is as a result of your negligence. They don't expose the aspect that you are negligent about a series of things. Yes, they don't expose the negligence on your part. They expose but the depression. They fabricate depression and put it on you. Just, there are certain things that if you had done them, simply taking them into consideration, you couldn't have been into the situation in which you find yourself. But they will come now and they are telling you that as a result of that, your wife is putting you through depression, which is sad. It is sad. So we should watch out with those people on social media. It is really sad. It is a sad situation. When I see that times I look at the way these people talk on social media, I say, oh my God, where is the world heading to? Where is the world heading to? Go and see how young girls are addicted to them. I mean, they follow them on those platforms on daily basis. So much so that they know even their rendezvous before they come on air. And when they are on air, nothing goes right. I want to follow this show. I want to follow this show. I want to follow this show. The one day live. Come and see how they are running helter-skelter to go and be there. Whether your husband is saying what that time is their problem. Whether your wife is saying what that time is his problem. It is sad. It is sad. It is simple. Get to study. Respect your mother. There are biblical principles that we have to be respecting them. As far as matrimony is concerned, honor your mother and your father. There are commandments that we need to know. How many of you as young girls today honor your mother and your father? Does it only mean that it's your biological mother? Your mother-in-law is your mother. Your father-in-law is your father. How on earth will you disobey your father-in-law and you expect to succeed in matrimony? It cannot go. It cannot go. It cannot go. most of you come in to challenge your husbands or your wives. No, it should not be a battle. That is a meeting. It should be collaboration. Divided, you must fall. Yes, divided, you must fall. And united, you must stand. That is it. So we should always try as much as possible to understand those things, ladies and gentlemen. I find it very difficult at times to direct people as far as those shows, those things are concerned. But we must always try. We of the Andy Best Akko Newsroom, and of course, we must always try as far as we can to do it our own way. All what we need is we go in as we study. We are on our courses. When we do our courses, we validate them. We go for practicals, and our instructors have told us that the only way we can do practicals is to practicalize like this. Do some teaching somewhere, and that is it. They will evaluate you from there. Like what I'm doing now is teaching. And so when I teach now, my lecturer will come in and he will tell me that here, this is what you said, this is what you said, and this is what you said, which was good, and this one was not good. From there, I work on it, and subsequently, I clear it out. That is how we learn. But how many of you people in your matrimonial homes today have that patience to learn? Sad. That is it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be quitting at any moment from now. And if you came to watch this particular live show anytime after, the comment section is there. Drop your comment of your impression about the show, what you want us to handle in our subsequent shows. Of course, we are rounding up the year, so we shall be having our shows. And we shall be sharing a lot. Maybe we kickstart next year on good footing. Every week we shall be having weekly shows because we have validated so many courses this time around. Until we are on vacation now, we need to try to start practicalizing all what we have been studying so far. So that's what we think is necessary. It was nice having you watch this particular show. We want to thank you that you came in and you met it and you watched it, because our shows, we normally announce them at short notice. This one was not even announced. I just came in just because I was inspired to do it now, and so I thought it wise that I should do it that way. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As we end and round up the year, I wish you God's richest blessings and guardians as you enter next year. May God continue to guide you. Amen. Thank you. Goodbye.